Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
We slum it hard so you don't have to. Coming at you live from Southern California.
Yep.
And
North
Utah.
Central.
Guys, I went to a concert last week.
Oh, tight. Tell us about it.
It was of a band that is categorically dad rock, but I don't think they like to be referred to as dad rock.
Does anybody?
Probably not, but like
I can't think of
I
any
feel like
band
once
that
you
would be
become
like, yes.
famous, it's like when bands that are super famous from like, it's like if a band from the 90s is touring and they won't play any of their old songs, and it's like, that's the only reason we're here, guys.
Well, we've
Like
said
freaking Collective Soul. We didn't listen to your album that came out last year. Like, we want to hear you play Shine Down or whatever.
Yeah, like you can play your new stuff too, but if you're a legacy act, you have to realize that like there's a tacit agreement between the audience and the band that we're paying this money so that we can hear you play the old stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, but like I
Unless
think we
you're
said
like
this on this podcast, haven't we said that Foo Fighters, unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately, that they're like squarely dad rock because we were young when they started, and now they are still touring, and they're freaking old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what they are.
Well, but their style of music isn't dad rock. They're just old.
Okay.
You know, like if Less Than Jake goes on tour, you wouldn't call them dad rock. They would just be an old ska band, you know?
Yeah,
ska.
you're right. I would not call ska. That's weird.
Did you guys did you hear about that Furnace Fest? Are you familiar with Furnace Fest?
No.
Slightly.
Furnace Fest was like a big like indie hardcore punk festival in like the early 2000s.
Emery played there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I think
okay.
it was mostly
We've talked about
Christian.
it.
The dude from
Tooth and Nail and stuff.
yeah,
Tooth and
a
Nail
lot of
stuff,
Tooth and Nail bands, but then a lot of like probably like victory bands or whatever too. I don't know. Anyway, it was like a mix. But anyway, they did a like a reunion, not a reunion, but they brought it back this year, and it was like almost exclusively like old bands. So, for example, Friday night the headliner was Under Oath.
Okay.
Some of the bands that played that day were like 18 Visions, Emery, Every Time I Die, Thursday,
Dude.
Silent Planet, From Autumn to Ashes, Zao, which I really like.
Well, did you go to that?
No, but I was just thinking about it when you're talking about dad rock.
Yeah, that's like
Saturday
dude, I
night
freaking love
was
to go to
Taking
that
Back
show.
Sunday.
Okay.
Anberlin, Appleseed Cast played. Glassjaw,
Anberlin.
Further Seems Forever. He Is Legend, Mineral, dude, Mineral, heck yeah.
Amberlin puts on
Stretch
such
Armstrong?
a freaking great show.
Oh, really? I've never
Yes.
seen
Dude,
him.
Stretch Armstrong. Their keyboard player was in my ward growing up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they were
Where is
like
that?
hard, like straight edge hardcore.
I
And then
think-
Killswitch
I think it
Engage
actually might
played
be a
on
different-
Sunday.
I think it actually might be a different,
Stretch Armstrong.
maybe. I don't know. They were pretty popular,
Uh,
but at any rate.
I don't know. Anyway, the Juliana Theory played, so it was like a
Taking
ton
Back
of like
Sunday.
Get Up Kids.
Serious?
Yeah, it seems like really cool. So it was like half like Christian bands.
Where is
Christian-
it? In Southern California?
No, it's in freaking like Alabama or something.
Yeah.
Birmingham, Alabama.
What?
Anyway, yeah, like that's where it used to be, and so.
Okay. Yeah,
But I'm in
I
like
guess.
this like old school Tooth and Nail Facebook group, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, I'm flying." Like people flew there to go to this thing. I mean, there's a ton of bands that played, but
dude.
Dude,
yeah,
that's like-
But
sounds-
is that dad rock? Because that's like
No, because
Stuff
dad
that
rock's
was,
a
like,
genre
cool
of
when-
music.
okay.
well.
I don't consider that dad rock. Okay, so the band that I went and saw is Wilco.
Oh yeah, that's
They
dad
are
rock.
dad rock.
Yes. Okay, I got you. So Emery, I've seen Emery play a couple times, and they always make the joke. At some point in the set, hey, thank you all for coming out tonight. We know when most of you first saw us, you were in high school or college, and we were telling you, hey, don't have sex in the parking lot, don't do drugs. And now we're saying, hey, man, you got a babysitter, go nuts in the parking lot, do everything that you can because you got a babysitter. Like it's some variation on that joke every single time because they know that
Yeah.
I was looking around, like
Good joke.
I seriously, everybody was my age. And it's like
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
nobody young is going to that show. And I mean,
No.
Yeah, I mean,
if-
I'm sure it's some, but
if they have
majority.
younger openers, then it kind of brings a younger crowd. But like most people going to see them are old.
yeah. Dude, I just found out, which I'm bummed because I'm not gonna be able to make it happen. But Jimmy Eat World and Taking Back Sunday are playing together at Petco Park next week.
I'm planning.
Are you going
they're
to that
playing
tour?
here on Friday,
Oh, nice.
and I'm on the fence about it. Although I just looked up freaking tickets. Oh, this is the one. No, it's actually on Wednesdays, so it's tomorrow.
Oh,
That's why the tickets are so expensive. I was thinking it was the 15th. Dang it! They're $100 on StubHub.
I mean,
I think they probably still have new tickets available, but
seems relatively reasonable, I guess. But
no, they're like $40 like face value. I think
yeah, that makes sense.
50. Oh yeah, here's.
I think we talked about this because then I said like, oh, I already saw them at NAMM, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen Jimmy Eat World a bunch of times. Them and like, there's a few bands that when they come, I usually go see them.
Yeah.
And I saw Jimmy Eat World. I know I've told this story, but I saw Jimmy Eat World and Taking Back Sunday play together once when I was engaged to my bride.
To your bride. You were engaged to your bride, or
I know that is weird. It's weird on multiple levels.
Well, see, we
So
got
how was
married,
that Wilco
and then we
show?
got married again. So
Okay, so before I go into the Wilco, I don't know if I can make that concert happen. It starts at 6. My son really wanted to go
Gotta
to
get
it, but
him
my
here
younger
soon.
son can't because he's not vaccinated, and
what a fool.
I know. he's an anti-vax.
hey, he's a lion, not a sheep. All right.
Exactly. He's
What's
10 years
what's the deal with that? Like, if you're too young to get vaccinated, can you just not
can't.
do stuff?
Anyone under 12. I mean, it depends on it's like a personal choice, I guess. But
No, but that's what I
No,
mean.
well, he
Like,
means for shows. He's talking about shows.
like if you
like if vaccination
always
is
just-
required, but you're too young to get
no,
the
it's
vaccine.
always just like no, they just ignore it for people
Yeah.
under 12.
I went to the Dodgers game last night, and they were like, it was vaccine required, but it could
Yeah,
literally
they're
have
like-
been like any piece of paper I showed them, and
Yeah.
it would not have
It's like the
mattered.
gif of that guy, the security guard, who's like supposed to be patting down people, and he's not even. He's like waving his hands
Yeah.
like 6 inches away from him. You know. Popular
Is it
gif.
like, Aaron? Was it like in the movies when like police detectives like show their badge, like when they're
Yeah.
yeah.
They go, LAPD.
Flip it out.
Go like this.
Flip it back.
Or it's like when someone's like pretending to be a cop, and they just like flash their like library card or something.
Oh, what was the scene? Oh, it's Rush. Isn't it Rush Hour? When he goes, just go like this. He's
Yeah.
just go like this, real quick.
Oh,
He's like, that
shit
doesn't look
is
like
good.
me. He's like, yeah, just go like that.
Just flick it real quick. Just give it a
flick it
flick.
real quick.
So how was Wilco? Was it cool?
Okay, first though,
Oh, okay.
my brother just FaceTimed me. He's down in Mesa, Arizona.
Home Home of Jimmy Eat World.
Home of Jimmy Eat World. Weirdly. I mean, not weird, but
It's not weird that it's their home, but
that's what we're talking
the
about.
timing is.
It kind of is. It's a weird place for anybody to be from.
It's like a suburb of Phoenix.
It's Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Meta.
just a suburb.
They're from Meta.
He's down there for work. He hears all this noise outside his hotel room.
Meta
Goes, looks out the window, and there's this huge concert happening.
It's Jimmy Eat
It's
World.
like just right next to his hotel in Mesa, Arizona. It's freaking Dropkick Murphys and Rancid.
Oh, wild.
Whoa.
How nuts is that?
There's like
That's sick.
there's a
Like why are they playing in Mesa, Arizona for one?
there's like a pretty popular like club in Mesa that like a lot of bands play.
Well, and this is just at the amphitheater, which I think they do like a whole. They must.
Well,
do
yeah,
like
they're
a
pretty
concert,
big.
fall concert series or whatever. But
What's this place?
anyways.
Oh,
Okay,
the
so
Nile.
Wilco-
Have you been there? The Nile Theater.
Uh-uh.
It's like I don't know. There used to be a lot of shows there when I was a kid.
Dang, these Jimmy Eat World tickets are still. They're just $45. Right
It's
now.
like one of those places where it's like an old movie theater that got like an indie kind of
Yeah,
I don't know, venue.
yeah.
There was a place in San Diego that was like that. I don't know if they're still around, called Soma. And they had like
Is that like one of those jokes, like Soma balls?
it was like where the big punk shows would be. Like I saw Alkaline Trio there when it was like probably like I don't know, like 1,000-person cap or something.
That's awesome. Oh, holy!
So like
crap,
a big
dude.
small show.
I'm sorry, I'm giving like random commentary on this freaking.
But it was in like it's like in an old theater, so the floors are sloped
yeah.
except for in the front.
Did they pull the seats
Mhm.
out?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really? So it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like
because it's like
weirdly sloped.
it's like a yeah. So like the front of it's flat,
yeah,
but then like a third of the way back, and
which
to
is
the
like
end, it's like
on
sloped.
one hand is
Yeah.
kind of cool, but it probably feels weird.
It is cool because like if you just want to stand there, you're
Yeah.
standing on like the sloped part, so you don't have to worry about people like being in front of your head.
Yeah,
But then if you're in the pit is like flat still.
I mean you don't really have to worry about that generally.
No.
I saw. Have you seen that video going around of Shaq on the front row of that concert?
Yes.
I think I've seen
He's
it.
just
yeah.
like vibing, and it's like cool. But my first thought was like, it sucks to be all the people behind him.
Yeah. The like 8 people that are like
Yeah, but
like
smashed
in the
behind
cone
him. Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
him.
if you are gonna like have someone block your view, it's good.
Yeah.
If it's Shaq.
It is kind of
Might
cool that
as
it's
well
Shaq,
be
yeah.
Shaq.
At least it's like a story. It's not like some
Totally.
random big dude was in front of me.
Yeah.
Some big butthole.
Some massive.
Okay,
beehole.
so Wilco played opening for them. They're pretty. Okay, first of all, so you have is it Jeff Tweedy?
Uh-huh.
You have Jeff Tweedy and Nels Klein, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Nelson
think.
Klein.
I think it just goes by Nels, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He. I don't think they get along. They never like interacted once during the entire show. The setup on the stage was like. There was like this organ. There was like 3, not percussionists, I guess, but there's like keyboard organ player. There was the drummer, and then like another kind of keyboard. He had a slide guitar and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of on the back, like raised platform, and then up front, where Tweedy was in the middle, and then the bassist and Nels Klein. And Nels Klein was like separated, like he had his amps between him and the rest of the band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
That's pretty
interesting. And they both had like Tweedy. They both had like huge pedal boards, and they both had them like between each other, so they couldn't like step towards each other.
Uh-uh.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't like best friends. But the band that opened for him is a band called Young Fresh Fellows,
Okay.
which is a band from the 80s. And they're kind of just really lo-fi. Like, they honestly kind of sounded like early Brit punk or whatever. Like kind
Like,
of lo-fi.
like the Kinks or like later than that. I guess that's like proto punk, but who's
I'm
that
thinking,
band
like,
that I'm
70s.
thinking of? Like the Buzzcocks, I guess is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
But,
that's cool.
I mean, that's how they sounded live. I don't know what they sound like on their records. I think
Sure.
they had one like relatively popular song, but they're all just like old dudes now. and they're really funny. They're like talking about, like at one point they said how much they said we're getting paid. Like there's some anecdote about some video they had done, and they're like, ironically, we had to pay the same amount for that video as we're getting paid tonight, which is $50,000, and we're like, that's a weird thing to say.
It's a lot of money to get paid for.
Seriously, that's what I was thinking for, like the opening. And he even said, like, he was like, when Wilco plays, they do a lot of like, they highlight a lot of like up and coming bands, which is really cool, and then they also have a lot of legacy bands, which is what we are. And they're basically like, we appreciate it, like. We have no business like sharing a stage with them or whatever.
That's cool.
So it was pretty cool, and it was in this hall that was built. It's called the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall, and it's one of the coolest venues I've ever been in. First of all, it was huge. It seats like 3,000 people, and it's like it's an auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should look up here. I'll put
What's it called?
Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. And
Arlene.
Did you eat my schnitzel?
The ceiling is like super high.
Schnitzer.
I just sent you a link, but it's just like the Google results of that name.
Oh, you were in Portland.
Yeah, I was in Portland.
Okay.
I posted in the group too for any of the Portland dudes if they wanted to get together, and no one replied. So
Bunch of
screw
haters.
all of y'all.
She died last year.
Oh, word?
Arlene Schnitzer.
I don't think it's been named that forever, obviously, but look at some of those pictures of the inside, and the ceiling was freaking high. I mean, the sound in it was too loud, like most concerts are, you know. But having high ceilings like that meant that I bet the sound was pretty uniform over the hall, and it just sounded really good. And it's really
you just
cool.
sent me a Google search that I could have done on my own.
I know. I already said that, but I'm an idiot for doing that. But this hall was built in.
But
guess what year?
Saved you a step, Aaron.
Dude, that's like super steep.
It's very steep, and the ceiling is just like insanely high. But guess what year it was built?
1847.
1928. Good job, Phil.
Yeah,
dang.
bro.
And then
Gatsby
they renovated it back in the 80s. But it's
Guess
really
what
cool.
day of 1928, Phil?
I don't care.
March 8th.
Well, I mean, it wasn't built in one day. That's when it was open, I guess.
Gatsby era, bro.
Well, I bet it wasn't built all in 1928 either. I bet they started in 1927.
Touche. Probably
or before
that, because it's huge, and it's like super ornate.
Yeah, dude. Look
but
at
then
that.
it's like
like
What about this? What's the architectural style?
well, it's not Art Deco.
It's
something-
Rococo Revival.
Okay, thank you,
Rococo.
Mr. Wikipedia.
Which architecture firm was responsible for building it or
Hey,
architecting
I'm sorry,
it?
I bruised your ego.
So,
I forgive you.
It plus it's one of those, like, you know, when you have like these historic theaters and everything's all like fancy and gilded and everything, and then you have like a light bar just hanging down from the ceiling in the middle.
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of,
yeah.
which is kind of cool, I think. But at any rate, the show was really good. They sounded awesome. They're one of these. I don't know if they always sound like this live. I've listened to some of their concerts. I'm not even like a huge Wilco fan. I tend to think they're kind of overrated, honestly. But they're good. I don't think it's because they're not good. I just don't think they're as good as a lot of people. They're just one of those bands that everyone likes to, like, guys, I'm pretty interesting because I like Wilco, you know.
Yeah.
I
yes.
don't know a whole lot of Wilco, but I super like the guitar solo on this song, the first song off of A Ghost Is Born. I don't even know the name of the song, but that's like one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, honestly,
of rock
their
music
guitar work
that
is
solo.
really good. Like, the solos are pretty, like...
It's like a 2-minute freeform solo. It's freaking rad.
but it's not like some shreddy thing.
Yeah, no, it's very like
Like,
musical.
it's really good. And the concert, like, a lot of their stuff is like pretty mellow on the record, but it's all like pretty, you know, much higher energy live, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he was making, I don't know, it's funny. You could tell he's like past the point where he's like trying to keep up some image or something like that.
Yeah.
At one point, someone yelled from the front, like, "Thanks for coming back." And he was like, "Well, we were contractually obligated to, so, you know, you don't have to thank us."
That's funny.
But then he realized what they were saying because they played the night before. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I get what you're saying." And
like, thanks for being in Portland again.
and at one point, someone yelled out like, "It sounds great tonight" or something like that. And he's like, "Well, let's just try to get through this. Let's not have any judgment, all right?"
Oh my gosh.
Like, it was funny, but you could tell he was like,
He's like, you know what? Settle down.
Yeah.
See that?
He's like, let's not have any judgment. It was actually pretty funny. Like he was pretty good with the crowd and stuff.
Don't you think that sounds like that contributes to the dad rock vibe? Like, because those are like dad jokes.
Oh,
like
totally.
he's like,
and they're
okay,
all dressed
okay.
like dads, and they're all
Everybody
like,
settle down. Like that.
Yeah, totally.
That kind of thing. If you're gonna act like, hey, let's not get too out of control here. If you're gonna like,
okay, here's
talk
here's
that
the
way,
other-
then
here's the other crazy thing. It was great because they didn't have people sitting next to us, but also this hall was built in the 20s,
yes,
and then it was
1928.
renovated in the 80s. And my first thought, I know this probably isn't the first thought that goes through your guys' mind when you're going to a show where you know you'll be seated in bleacher seats, like in not, you know, like in fixed seats the entire time, is like some seats are really small, especially at like modern sports venues. Some of them are insanely small, and these seats were luxuriously big.
Oh,
nice.
really?
They were awesome.
Well, that has to be part of the '80s remodel because there's no
It's
way.
because like Americans
seats
have
in the-
gotten a lot smaller, I think, on average since the 1920s.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, that's
Is
the
that-
crazy thing is like I've been involved in auditorium redesigns and stuff, and honestly, halls have gotten like seats have gotten bigger just more recently though. Like it used to be that you'd have like 19 or 20 inch seats, and now they're all like 23-inch seats or 22, you know.
Nice.
But yeah, anyways.
They're like college seats.
And
They used
so
to
the
be.
show was great.
They used to be college seats. Now they're like grad level seats
Exactly.
because they were like 19, 20 before. Now they're like 22, 23.
I got you.
Dork.
I got you.
You don't.
I didn't.
I don't think you
didn't.
get me. I'm saying
I did
I'm
not
like
get you.
saying
So
that
Portland, guys, did you know
not
that Portland
understand.
is kind of weird?
I've
heard
heard
that.
that there's a campaign to keep it that way.
So, so one thing I was proud of with this concert is I timed the Uber perfectly. I had looked up their set lists from the night before and saw how many encores they played, and then like requested the Uber right when I thought, you know, so it would get there right when we went outside, you know, so we leave right after the last song, and it's basically pulling up right as we walk out. I mean, it was money. I was pretty proud of myself.
That's
Well
pretty
played,
cool.
sir.
But you know how like a lot of people, there's a lot of like bad press going around about Portland.
Is there?
You mean like Antifa?
Yeah, like people think that there's riots still happening there and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That Portland is on fire and
Yeah.
that Black Lives Matter has
I thought you
destroyed.
like so. Basically, it's not so much that like Portland itself is having like an image problem, but or is it? I guess.
Well, I don't know.
It is.
Yeah, it's like that.
It is if people believe that it's on fire still.
But
Yeah,
are,
like
are they
multiple
people
people-
saying like?
Multiple people, when I said I was going on vacation to Portland, were like, "Oh, are you scared?" And I'm like,
They're like, no, because I'm a white person and it's Portland.
yeah, and also like the only thing you have to contend with are homeless people, and they are famously weak because they're not well nourished. Obviously, I could.
That's
take a
like
homeless
that was
person.
like a perfect that was like a perfect Norm Macdonald joke that I did. So he had this thing where he said like the perfect joke is where the setup and the punchline
Setup
are
is the
exactly the
punchline,
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going on vacation in Portland. Are you scared? No. Because I'm going on vacation in Portland.
In Portland. That was like that. His example that he gives is the joke about when Christy Brinkley leaves
Yeah, Billy
divorced
Joel.
Billy Joel. It's like,
He had one about Julia Roberts too.
exactly. It's like did this when she realized that she was Christy Brinkley and he was Billy Joel.
Yeah. Sorry to derail you.
So we did this bike tour that was a lot of fun. It was a donut tour, which is like, I don't know what. So Voodoo Donuts is this weird, like it's this thing that like probably was cool to local people like 15 years ago or something like that.
More,
now it's
probably.
like this.
We talked about it when you were getting
Planning to go,
prepared
yeah.
for the trip, but now tell us.
Yeah, so
your
we didn't
experience.
plan on going. So I don't know if like donuts were a part of Portland's image before Voodoo Donuts, or if they, because there's like a million donut shops around Portland, like way more
Sure.
than you would expect in any city. And I don't know if the two are related, or if Voodoo Donuts is just one that happened to become popular just because they have one that looks like a big hairy wiener or whatever.
Do they?
It's got to be
I
like a
think so.
coattails thing, right? Like
I think
Voodoo Donuts gets
I mean,
insanely
I feel
famous.
like every like cooking, every like food show in the mid aughts
yes,
featured Voodoo Donuts, right?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but I get what you're saying. It's like, is Portland a donut place, and like Voodoo Donuts was the one that got popular, or did that
Yeah.
get popular and then they're like, oh, Portland's a donut
Portland's
place?
a donut place.
I think
yeah.
it's the second one. I think
Okay.
if
That's
I think what happened was
too.
when Voodoo Donuts had a line around the block, which at one point it did.
Yeah.
When I was there, like I don't know, 10,
Just still
10 years
does
ago,
a lot of times.
it was
there's
it was
donut
a-
shops here that have lines around the block, but
It was
Yeah,
a
but
line
it's
around
like,
the block.
but now Voodoo
yeah,
Donuts is like
that was
no
like,
local person is going there, and also
Right.
like, so my buddy that I was there with, he was at this city planning concert. It's the same thing that we did when I went to Nashville, city planning convention or conference.
oh, it's like
There's the
city
word.
planning concert.
I was gonna get to
don't
the
know what
CON
that
word
is.
eventually, and Voodoo Donuts catered it the whole time, like
Mm.
all 3 days at this big fancy convention center. Like it's
Yeah. They're like almost like Starbucks now. I mean, not obviously like
totally. But in
franchising,
Portland, they are like.
yeah.
But it's weird. Like the part of what makes me think that is there's no, like beignets are a big part of New Orleans, right? But that's
Mhm.
because there's
The
like
French
there's
thing,
no
yeah.
like Portland style donut.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's nothing unique. In fact, okay, so we did this bike tour, and the tour was basically like going from donut shop to donut shop. So we went to 4 donut shops but rode
Did you see a
basically
lot of
around
cops?
the whole.
That's
rode
that's
around all
good.
of
If you want to be
downtown.
safe, just go on the donut tour because you'll just be around the police all the time. You'll never have to worry about the Antifa.
I'm more scared. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm personally
That's-
not scared of the police.
Actually, that's the thing. That's the joke right there. Is Antifa are scared of donuts. Because
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like
Antifa
garlic.
won't go around the donut shops.
Yeah.
So it was awesome, and the donuts were all amazing and stuff. But
so
it was
did you
cool.
go to Voodoo Donuts on that tour?
No, not on the tour.
Okay.
We did end up It was funny because like on our way on the last day, we ended up driving by one, and I had just like remarked that like, hey, we never went to Voodoo Donuts. That's a good thing, like because
Yeah.
I'm whatever insecure, and we drove by one, and my friend's wife was like, oh, she's my friend too. My friend was
My
like,
friend's
yeah, we might as
wife.
well just stop. We didn't, we might as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we stopped in and got some, and they were.
It wasn't just you and your friend's wife, I think is what you're trying to say. You weren't
There's
just
four
like
of us. This is
touring
a
Portland
foursome.
with your friend's wife.
It was a quadruple.
Mm. If you don't know Gun Street Wiring Shop by now, you must be living in the dark ages. They are the premier hand-built wiring solution for all of your guitars. I have one in my Telecaster. I have a setup in there, 5-way. It's great. Have it in my Jazzmaster. It's amazing. I actually put it in my Epiphone Dot, brought the thing back to life. It's crazy. If you don't have it, you need it. Every guitar that you own will be better with Gun Street Wiring Shop. I promise. Also, if you join the street crew, you get a discount on the product, and I guarantee you'll enjoy it. If you get it and you don't like it, I will punch Cole in the face. That's my guarantee. Check it out right now at gunstreetwiringshop.com. That sounds fun.
Very progressive.
And we went to like some other. Oh, we also did 2 escape rooms. I did want to tell you guys about this. Have you guys done escape rooms before? Do you know what that
Yes.
is?
No.
Okay.
I know what they are, but I've never done one.
It's like, I didn't know that, but the first one I ever did was in Nashville when I was with these guys. And apparently I love them. So we went and did a couple in Portland. And one of them,
nice.
Like it's just this one guy that owns it. It's this tiny, like a lot of them have like many rooms in the same like business, you know, and you choose which game you want to play or whatever.
Yeah.
This one is just one dude in this tiny little business park in kind of this sketchy part of town, and it's called In Search of an Exit. But he completely redid the front of his store. And like we drove by and we're like, we can't find the place. But what there was this little.
You were in search of the entrance.
Exactly. It's like one of those little like.
That's
just
where the game starts.
It's not a strip mall because it's like right on the street, but it's like
not an escape room. The whole puzzle is just getting in.
Yeah. It's an entrance room.
Once you walk in, he goes.
All right, congratulations.
Ding, ding,
That'll
ding.
be $200.
So like, you know, it's one of these like old. It looks like an old Main Street kind of thing, where each shop is only like 15 feet wide, you know, and they all have kind of the similar storefronts and everything. And so where we thought it should be, and we looked it up on Google Maps, and like the street view showed this sign that said In Search of an Exit. But where it should have been, there was this business called Lockbuster, and the sign looked like a Blockbuster sign, right?
Oh, nice.
And then the whole shop was this VHS, it was all these VHS tapes.
Whoa.
So it was like this. But it was like really, like the whole shop was only like 4 feet deep, you know? And just one row all the way across of these VHS tapes.
I thought it was just like a cleverly named locksmith.
Like, well, we're getting to that. I mean, you think about like what's the key element of escape rooms is usually locks, right?
Key element.
Oh, Lockbusters was the escape room?
So we're like, wait a second. And then I noticed, I kind of figured it out because I'm like on high alert because I'm getting in escape room mode.
Yeah, you're in game mode.
And you realize like there's a little computer sitting there, like you would check out on a little CRT monitor, but it's not even plugged in or anything. And I was like, okay, I think I see what's going on. So I go in there, like I open the door and walk in, and then the phone rings.
Oh, whoa.
Like 5 seconds later. So I pick it up and I go, Lockbuster. And he's like, hey, do you guys have any? He's like, do you guys have any Christmas movies? And they have a shelf of Christmas movies. But it's all It's a Wonderful Life. And I was like, yeah. And he said, well, do you have any that aren't It's a Wonderful Life? And there's one copy of Die Hard.
Oh, my gosh. This is amazing.
So by that point, out the other 3 had like come in. And he was like, oh, well, can I get a copy of Die Hard? Can you set it aside for me? And so I had someone else do it. But you pull on it and it opens the entrance back into the main thing.
Dude, that's amazing.
It was so freaking cool. And the funniest thing is, like, we were talking about this, and then we went and found, I like became obsessed with this guy. I found this interview he did for a local newspaper because we were joking about the fact that he's like actively sabotaging his business, like from an actual business perspective. He's like making it hard for customers to find his business, you know. But it's like so good for the game, you know.
Yeah, to not just like walk into a lobby
so
or
awesome.
something.
And apparently his first sign just said, like, it was Lockbuster, but it looked exactly like the Blockbuster logo. Everyone told him he was going to get sued, so he changed it. But oh man, it was such a cool way to start. And you could tell he was like way into it. He was like super excited the whole time. And he was like, I've never had anyone say Blockbuster when they answer the phone. So he was
that's so cool.
about that.
They're just like, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
like,
probably go.
both think each other are cool.
That's tight.
And it was a really good escape room. But I just thought that was pretty awesome.
Guys, I have a fun story too. You want to hear it?
Uh-oh.
You know,
I don't know.
Phil, do you know who J.R. Smith is?
I do.
No.
So J.R. Smith is a professional basketball player who decided last year, after many years in the NBA, that he wanted to.
He's a very good player too. Like he was a multi-time All-Star.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, he's good.
Had some championships and stuff.
Yeah, he decided that he wanted to go back to college, not to get a degree specifically, but so that he could play college golf, NCAA
Well, he did
golf.
say to get his education, apparently.
Well, yes, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it.
But
too.
he never played. He never played in college.
Yeah, so he still had
He might have
NCAA
done a
eligibility.
year. Yeah.
But I just found out that he played his first tournament this week, and guess what happened to him? He was attacked by Yellow Jackets, and he had to leave.
Freaking nuts. Yeah.
He got like attacked by freaking Yellow Jackets.
But it showed him out there, and he's wearing like all of his whole golf outfit, and he's really good at golf.
He's like a
Like, it's
40-year-old
so funny.
college golfer.
Yeah, multimillionaire,
Yes.
mind you, going against all these freaking like
So
kids
this is
just trying to get an education and play some golf.
So this story is a combination of Billy Madison and
Happy Gilmore
Yeah,
together.
Oh,
Actually,
Happy.
pretty
I was
great.
thinking. I wasn't
It's
thinking
Happy
golf.
Madison.
That's right. But then, what's the one where Rodney Dangerfield goes back to college?
Yeah, it's called Back to School.
back to school.
Back to school. So then it's also that.
Is that a diving? That's a diving movie, right? There's like a big.
Well, it was diving. It was specifically, but it was like
Yeah.
a super rich guy who decided to
Yeah,
go back
yeah.
to college for some dumb reason.
Wasn't it like his
um,
son was in college and he was like going to? It was like It was like a Goofy movie part 2. Like same
It
plot.
Yeah.
It was basically just to connect with his son.
Yeah.
You say part 2, but I think it was first, right?
I
It
mean,
was before
Goofy
the
movie
Goofy
was Back to School Part 2.
No. The Goofy movie in a Goofy movie, whatever the second one is called, Max goes
you're
away to
saying
school.
It's like a Goofy movie Part 2.
Yeah. What is it? An extremely goofy movie is what it's called. But in that, Max goes to school and then he's like in the X Games type thing, and then Goofy also goes to the same
Yeah.
school.
Of course,
like a
he was
Back
in
to
the
School
X Games
kind of throwback thing.
right? Because it was the 90s.
Yeah, it's an extremely goofy movie. It was 2000.
Extreme.
That's so old.
Okay, guys.
Speaking of a goofy movie, have you been following Pauly Shore on TikTok?
I've seen some.
No, but
It's so weird. He's hangs out with that dude from 90 Day Fiance who has no neck.
oh, he does.
Yeah,
Ed, is that his
yeah, yeah. Big Ed,
name? Ed, yeah.
Big Eddie.
Big Eddie.
Yeah, he's friends with him apparently, but they just fight on.
I saw him
camera.
doing a tribute. He did kind of a tribute to Norm, but in it he played that clip. Like he's doing a stand-up show, and he played the clip of Norm Macdonald when he was on Conan with Tiffany Amber, with one of the people from Melrose Place who left Melrose Place to start doing movies, and the first movie she did was with Carrot Top.
Yeah, Courtney Thorne Smith.
Yes.
Yes, and he says, "What's the movie called?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a movie with Carrot Top." Norm says this. You know what a good name for it would be? Box Office Poison. And then she says it's called Chairman of the Board.
Yeah,
And Conan's like, "Oh, we'll do something with that." And he's like, "I bet it's spelled Bored."
Yes.
yeah.
And
That's a good one.
it was pretty funny that like Carrot Top played that. Like he's basically just like doing a tribute to this guy whose only reference to him was to totally rip on him.
I'm sure they like knew
Yeah.
each other or in passing.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least.
But
Carrot Top's a wild man.
yeah, dude.
Remember
he's
Gallagher?
nuts.
Kinda-
I used to be really into Gallagher when I was a kid.
Remember Gallagher 2?
No, remember Gallagher Rides Again?
Do
What's
you
Gallagher?
not know what Gallagher 2 is though?
No.
Or what is it? I think he goes by Gallagher 2. It's his brother who basically
Oh, really?
does- yeah. They have the same name and the same act. They basically do the exact same act.
And he's called
But he
Gallagher
charges
too.
less because he's not actually, as if anyone knows which Gallagher is which,
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, and
But
like
guys-
charges less to smash fruit. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're not as
know.
experienced as the
But
other guy
maybe-
at smashing fruit.
You know what though? Maybe I'm remembering it. I feel like
No, I think you're
It
right.
might have been something where like they both would go and do acts as if they were the same person, so they could be touring two different like places at once.
It was like the Prestige.
Exactly.
Gallagher's
Gallagher's like the Prestige in a lot of ways.
Trail of dead bodies in his wake,
Exactly.
much like
Hey,
the Prestige.
how much time do we have?
We have time for a quick game.
Very
Should
quick.
we do a quick game? I don't know
Yeah.
how quick it's going to be.
That's all right.
Okay. I'm starting a new game here, guys, and I hope you'll support me in this.
All right.
We do.
It's a little game
I support you
called-
at this point.
It's a little game called Am I the Butthole?
Yes, I do support
And
you.
it's based on a subreddit, which is called
Yeah.
Am I the A-Hole?
Yeah,
Which you guys have probably seen before.
this is like the Gallagher 2 of that subreddit.
I have not seen it because
Oh, you
I
haven't?
am too old to be on Reddit.
Reddit? You're on
It happens
TikTok.
on TikTok also. Yeah, if you're too old for TikTok,
Okay.
Reddit, you're way too old for
Reddit
TikTok.
is an old man's game at this point.
Although TikTok has been
Um,
taken over by the elder millennials.
It's true. Like that guy who eats the food and then dances. He's an elder.
Dude,
he's like a
what is up with that
Canadian
guy?
I don't know that guy.
No, I freaking love it though.
Dude, it is wild. And
Uh.
he shows up on TikTok, on my TikTok, all the time.
All the time, dude.
That dude who pulls tablecloths with his butt crack is on TikTok too. I like him.
Yeah, I don't see him very much anymore.
Yeah, he's
His
pretty
act-
great.
I think.
I
he
think
kinda got
I think
stale.
his is more like other people sharing clips of his videos.
Yeah. So okay, so here's some ground rules.
Who's this
Just
food
to
guy
get-
though? I'll figure it out. Never mind.
Just to, it's not worth like looking up.
Especially in the middle of the game, Aaron.
So to give some
I'm not.
ground rules. Okay. So the way this works, it's a subreddit. For those who aren't familiar with Reddit, it's basically just a message board. And it is a pretty it's like the only community on the internet that is actually like not super toxic, or that basically you can downvote things, and if something gets enough downvotes it'll get hidden by default. So people kind of aren't terrible all the time, you know? So Reddit's still a fairly good place. But basically people go in here and make posts, so it's them self-reporting or they're telling their side of the story and basically asking, am I the a-hole? And, okay, so a couple ground rules for a game. Our goal is to decide, I want you guys all to decide who is the a-hole.
Okay.
And then I'll
Wait,
tell
out of
you
the three of us, it's definitely
the-
Aaron.
I'll tell you what the internet
Absolutely. not.
concluded. We have to assume that the person isn't lying. Even
So
though,
is our goal to just pass judgment, or is our goal to
yes,
guess
the goal
the
of this,
judgment
because
of the
there's
internet?
nothing we love more than judging.
Ooh, good
people,
question.
as we have shown. Yeah, our goal is not to guess what the internet thought,
Okay.
because you'll
okay.
see that they have some pretty interesting
The internet is the
standards
a-hole.
that they live by. For one,
That is
which is a
100%
theme you see a lot in this subreddit, is that if you are ever living in somebody else's house rent free, then you have zero rights whatsoever, according to this,
Okay.
according to the commenters in this subreddit. So if it's like, hey, my dad beat me with a pipe the other day. Oh, you're 21 and you live at home rent free, then you are the a-hole. So
So Reddit is like just like libertarians or what?
it is weird. It is like a bunch of like claimed libertarians. I mean, but there's also like everyone, like there's Elon Musk is like really popular on Reddit. It's a weird.
I had the feeling that Reddit would be like very like anti-landlord, like pro squatter, but maybe I'm
no.
off base.
Reddit is
Oh,
very
that was not
like
what I was thinking.
it is very like it's not centrist, but it is pretty balanced in that sense. There's not.
I was
there's
thinking it
not
was like
one
just
sort
kind
of
of generally
ideology.
pro Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, like trust.
There's a
I
decent-
picture like a lot of dudes who used to be in fraternities.
Yeah.
That's
On
a
Reddit.
fair. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Okay, so some of these I'm just going to read the title because the title is very funny. There was one that I wanted to start off with that I thought you guys.
It's one down.
So good. Aaron's getting buzzed tonight. Okay, am I the a-hole for calling my husband an idiot?
I'm getting ripped tonight.
I'm reading the thing!
I'm sorry.
For calling my husband an idiot.
Am I the butthole for calling my husband an idiot for putting all my ground coffee in one container?
Huh.
She goes on to detail how, like, she buys all these different kinds of coffee and grinds them and then wants to, like, test them differently and stuff. But I just thought that was...
Oh, so he, like, he, like, mixed them together?
Yeah, he, like, came home and was like, hey, I needed those jars for something else. And so I just dumped them all in this one big jar.
Did he know they were different?
Yeah. They had labels on them. And, like, he was clearly... That's why I'm not going to read the whole thing. Because the guy... Like, some of these are so cut and dried. And that's why I say you have to assume they're real. Because sometimes you can tell by how people are writing it that it's either fake or they're, like... They're basically coming to Reddit to say, like, hey, they'll be like, am I the a-hole for giving all this food to homeless people even though I didn't make sure they weren't allergic to it or something, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yes, validated.
First of all, that dude is an idiot.
Oh, yeah. He was voted like 90%.
But secondly, she's also an idiot. Why is she, like, pre-grinding all this coffee?
Yeah, that
is probably weird. Like, yeah, because you grind it, like, when you drink it, right?
You should.
Like, that's
and
why
anybody who tells you, Cole.
Well, because she said
anyone who tells you
she's
otherwise,
busy and she doesn't have time, and now he's like, well, you can just buy some more and grind it, which is like that's what a lunatic would say in this scenario.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, buying more and grinding it doesn't solve the problem.
So
you just wasted a bunch of coffee.
This is a great one. I love this one. This has a lot of layers to it. Okay, the title: Am I the butthole for telling my coworker that it's not my fault that she's single when she said it's not okay for my husband to send me gifts at our workplace?
Wait, can you read that again? I missed it. Sorry.
She told her coworker, it's not my fault that you're single, because her coworker told her that it's not okay for your husband to send you gifts at your workplace. Okay. So she says, I think I should clarify that he does not show up to my work to deliver the gifts in person. He usually sends me breakfast because I can't have breakfast early in the morning. So when he goes to work, he stops by my favorite cafe and he orders what he knows I like and tells them where the order should be delivered.
Yeah, no. Why would you tell someone not to do that?
Okay, the owners are his friends, so he gives them the notes to be delivered with the order. So she gets notes with the breakfast. And last but not least, I received the order at the entrance. Nobody receives the order for me. That's why I don't understand what bothers her so much. Also, it bothers her that I put photos of my children and my husband on my desk, which doesn't even make sense because those photos are on my side of the office. Okay, so then this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so right now it's like
at this point, obviously the other girl is the butthole. Yeah.
Yeah. Me, 26 female, husband 50 male, which is like, okay, that's not judging, but that's something. That's a new piece of information.
Noteworthy.
Right?
Yes.
Double.
It's like when Bobby Lee added the word brutally into his story.
You can't add that. That's another thing. Okay, so
every day for summer.
He sends me gifts at work every day. For a summer. He sends me gifts at work, so now it's gifts too. Every day since we started dating. He usually sends me a rose and a coffee with a note wishing me a good day, or just a note.
You've
telling
been
me that
saying
he loves me.
gifts this whole time?
Yes, you thought he said gifts. He thought you were saying gifts.
Yeah, he sent me the kid. You know,
and he
your
doesn't
husband
usually
stop
show up
texting
and do
you
it in
gifts.
person.
He sent me the one of the robot with the lightsaber that looks like his wiener. That's great. Okay, so gift. No, but at first it was breakfast, but now it's also gifts with a T.
Okay.
He usually sends me a rose and a coffee with a note wishing me a good day. He also sends me chocolates or food from my favorite restaurant, etc. He's a very romantic and attentive man, and I love that.
It's getting creepy, but
yeah, because like, okay, this guy definitely has been married before, cheated on those spouses, and is 100% cheating on this spouse. That's me being super judgmental, but that's the whole thing. Okay, he's very romantic and attentive, and I love that, but my coworker doesn't like it at all. Yesterday, he sent me some croissants and a coffee with a note saying he loved me, and when my coworker saw it, she said I should tell him to stop, and it's not appropriate to receive gifts every day. And another coworker told her that she was being bitter, and it's nice to have such a loving husband. That since I'm pregnant, which there's another.
What?
It was understandable that he spoiled me so much, but she insisted it's not appropriate in any way, and that if he doesn't stop, she will talk to our boss. Which is like, what are you talking? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what's the boss gonna do? She said she will tell him that she feels uncomfortable and that I'm not being professional enough, and that she wants another office mate.
That's
that made
weird.
Me so mad because I am professionul enough. The things my husband says
I am
me
professional
don't bother anyone.
enough.
But here's the thing: you know that she's like Phyllis. Remember when Bob was sending her stuff?
Yeah.
Bob Vance. You know that she's like playing it up, like, "Ooh, look what he got me today."
Yeah,
and they're not a distraction to me either. Oh, okay. I love it. I love the like logical fallacies that they run into in these. I'm professional enough, and the things my husband sends me don't bother anyone. And it's like, well, they clearly bother one person at least, you know?
Yeah, they are. That's the whole point of this story.
Yeah, that's why you're doing this post. They're not a distraction to me either, but according to her, they are. So I told her it is not my fault that she is single and does not receive anything from anyone. And maybe that maybe if she were not so bitter, someone would send her at least a coffee.
Oh, wow.
And she got angry, and now she told everyone that I was rude, and that if I don't apologize, she will talk to HR to see what they can do with me. When I told her that I didn't think being single is a bad thing.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Which is like, you literally
clearly do think it's bad. Yeah.
I only said it because she sounded like an envious person. That's
like, you're like,
but
it's not my fault you're a millionaire.
Yeah. So this last line, but apparently what I said hurt her. Like, oh, yes. What? Apparently. Like, I'm
intentionally so.
I'm so sorry to make yourself
exactly. Oh, it's so good. Okay. So that's part of what is interesting about these, because sometimes they take a turn, because obviously the first half of that,
I'm kind of on no one's side in this one.
Exactly. So that's one of the options. Is so the way it works is you vote. You either say YTA for you're the butthole. It's either everyone you're not, or everyone is a butthole, or nobody's a butthole. Those are like the four options.
I think everyone is in this one.
Yeah, right.
Including the husband.
Yeah, he's problematic for a lot of reasons. Like, he has a pregnant wife who's half his age, who he sends multiple gifts to every day. Like, you're trying really hard for some reason, you know.
It's just weird.
Okay, so
it's like controlling, right?
When you gave the option,
it feels like there's a level of manipulation to it. Yeah, for sure.
Totally, or like grooming almost.
Yeah.
When you gave
grooming your own,
you gave the option of
she's 20. Yeah, even though she's married to him.
When you gave the third option as an option, all of it, for some reason, the image shot in my head of me working at this place and being like the person next to the two of them.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself,
like,
okay, I could tolerate either one of you, but the two of you, listening to the two of you would make me insane.
Yeah.
Because listening to her complain about her getting the stuff would drive me crazy. And then listening to her say, well, it's because he loves me, and that's my, like, oh, look, he loves
Sorry,
me so much.
nobody loves
like,
you.
Yeah.
Not that being single is bad, but if you weren't such a bitter whore, you wouldn't be single. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I worked with this person, I would find it annoying that they got gifts every day. Exactly. But I would never say
annoying.
anything about it.
But that doesn't mean
I wouldn't be like,
a jerk.
This is inappropriate and you need to stop right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's another thing that's important about this distinction, is it's not about who's right or wrong necessarily, and it's not about who is legally in the right and legally in the wrong. It's about who is a butthole. But she is definitely annoying. Yeah. And also, I wonder sometimes, okay, she says some of these things, I wonder if they actually say, you know, when you're like in the shower and you come up with comebacks, you're like, ugh.
Right. I should have said this. Yeah.
The whole thing
all
about,
these stories
like,
are obviously from one perspective.
But also, like, maybe if she weren't so bitter, someone would send her a coffee. Like, I wonder if she actually said that, or if she just said that to herself in the shower, you know?
Yeah.
But at any rate, okay. Anything else to say about that one?
Give us the what was the vote?
No.
Oh yeah.
I think-
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
We know how you feel, Aaron.
Okay, that's interesting because it says everyone sucks, but then it says the final verdict is that everyone sucks is only 35% and not the butthole was 48%. So that there must be some math going on there, but
There's a glitch in the matrix.
exactly. But very few, only 14% said that she was the butthole. So that's honestly kind of surprising.
I was leaning that way until she started getting so nasty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was
And
like,
the whole
I was
like
yeah, who
the whole
cares?
thing about like, but it's not bad to be single, and then but apparently what I said hurt her. Like, oh, you're just a freaking
yeah, that
Yeah,
Like,
I
that
can see she's
shows
like,
the fact that she said that.
I was really frustrated and I lashed out and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, the type of person that says that is also the type of person who is like a jerk about getting gifts every day. you
Yeah,
know?
now it makes me think that she is like flaunting it and like
Totally, because like that's the type of
intentionally
person
getting
she
under
is.
this other
Obviously,
girl's skin.
she's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
100%.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
the best kind of narrator.
Here's another great one just for the. Okay, I don't know if this one might not be fun. No, that one. I'm trying to choose ones because a lot of these are like. A lot of it is like co-parenting type stuff.
I do not
Which
co-parent
just-
with the government.
Which is just like not fun. Like, you know,
Yeah.
am I the butthole for not giving my, for like not paying child support or whatever,
Yes.
Am I AITA? Am I the butthole for cheating and making sure my boyfriend lost in Catan? I just
No.
love the title on
okay.
that one.
I cheat in games all the time.
Yeah.
It's
And
the only
also
thing that
like
makes them
Catan,
fun.
the guy was like a total jerk. Like Catan is the type of game where you can really screw people over and be a jerk about it,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's one. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, sure.
This one is a wild ride. Okay, just the title. Am I the butthole for asking my wife to get my name tattooed on her?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, right?
Well, okay,
I
wait.
don't know,
but-
Asking
Let's hear
no. Just hey, you want
Well,
to?
it's like a weird-
Name?
It's a weird request, right?
You want to get your name tattooed on me?
it comes
Like,
across
okay.
as like a little desperate, but
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like
this one
rude
because it
or
got deleted.
like
I had
bad.
to use the Wayback Machine, so I will.
It's not. It's not like a butthole maneuver.
I do not like the sound of that.
I like that band though, the Butthole Maneuvers. Okay.
Butthole surfers.
Now, it's a super weird thing to do, though. Okay, but just wait. My wife and I have been together since we were 16, married for 5 years. We have one son. She dared me to get her name tattooed on myself,
okay.
so I did it. I recently told her she should get my name tattooed on her so I don't feel like such an idiot. She said
No.
she's morally against tattoos.
What?
And that I'm abusing her by expecting her to ink herself up. So she doesn't want to, whatever. But I guess she told someone who then told our entire family that I was pressuring her to do things she
Oh
wasn't
my
comfortable
gosh.
with. And her stepdad wanted to have a chat with me. I dislike her stepdad. This guy is the worst. But this guy literally took it upon himself to stand up at a dinner and express his concern. Started subtly hinting at me, trying to control his pride and joy. I told him to go to hell, and now I'm the bad guy. Okay, like,
Yeah, that got crazy.
that woman is like a sociopath, right? Like, she's like a supervillain. She's like a Batman villain.
How is she morally against
Exactly.
tattoos, but she like dared him to get a tattoo of her name?
I feel like the people who are doing this, like, so are 2 for 2. It seems like they're giving a very slanted side of the story.
Oh, that's always going to be the
Yeah,
case.
for
You just have
sure.
to accept that.
I know,
So
but like,
You have
but
to
what I'm
take.
saying is,
But for
like-
this game to work, you have to take what they say at face value. Unfortunately,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the fact that this is them trying their best to not be slanted, and this is what they're giving, is like both times it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
yikes.
Sometimes it's like, yeah. It's like you're not trying hard enough to make yourself.
No,
look
I
good.
mean, like, based on, if you take it at face value, I don't think that he has done anything wrong.
No. The other one.
But it
Yeah,
also makes you think,
this
like,
one,
that is not a good relationship because you were talking, like, mad crap about your wife.
Yeah, dude, which you will see that is a common thread through a lot of this, where they're like, hey, can you solve this dispute? And can you guys make my spouse do this thing?
My
Can
freaking
you force them to do
idiot
this thing
wife.
for me? Essentially. Yeah, it's so good. So all these people are saying they should tattoo over the tattoo he already has to make it say something gross or whatever, you know. But I just thought that was such a great turn, a twist to add to that, because it's like, yeah, you shouldn't ask someone to get your name tattooed on them. That's a really weird thing to do. But then it's like, oh, turns out she is.
Yeah, because before you said that, I was wondering,
total
like,
nut job.
does she have other names tattooed on her, like their child?
Yeah, like
or
what's
like,
the
Right,
There's
right,
got to
right.
be something.
like, what's the situation? But if she's completely
against
uninked,
tattoos, though.
but then like the dude, the stepdad,
Oh yeah, he's trying to control his pride and joy.
oh, don't control my pride and joy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have a
do you
question.
guys
I
think
have
is-
one for you.
Uh-oh.
So, am I the beehole? I started a podcast as a joke, like 6 or 7 years ago, and I'm still recording it right now.
And now you don't want to do it anymore.
No, I do. I mean, I still enjoy it, and I appreciate our new patrons. By the way, Will and
You're fine with recording it. You just don't like posting it all the time.
Will and what's his name? Oh, what's the new dude's name? Will and
Oscar.
Pete, not Pete. Peter.
There's an O in there
No,
somewhere.
it's not Peter. Is it
There's an O in there.
Slippy,
Slippy Swanson?
Swami.
Dan? His name is Dan. Dan Pratt. Dan
Oscar?
Pratt. So that's where I got Pete
Oh,
from.
I was
from Pratt.
not close.
Yeah, Dan, if you're listening, I need you to email me at thegearslum@gmail.com and tell me, are you related to Spencer and Stephanie Pratt?
Ooh.
Not
Stephanie
Chris Pratt.
Pratt.
We don't care.
Unlikely voice of reason.
If
It's
the
a
answer
me.
is you're related to Chris Pratt, we literally do not want to hear it. We only
That is not the answer to. That is not an answer to my question.
we only want to hear, are you related to Spencer, Stephanie,
I guess
Yeah.
Heidi by marriage.
Heidi? Yes, by marriage. Yes.
Are they still together? Spencer and Heidi?
Yes.
Not Spencer
How
and Stephanie.
dare you?
They're brother and sister, but they're still brother and sister.
How dare you? Of course they're still together.
Hey, I don't
they
know.
have a son named Hunter.
Jay and Heidi broke up. They have a son
Okay,
named
but-
Hunter.
They have a son named Hunter. They have many dogs.
You know, I want to know what happened to.
They have a successful crystal business together.
I want to know whatever happened to the little Italian kid that lived next door. What was his name? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That they were babysitting, and Spencer was like, "No, I don't want to do this," and she was like, "Come on, it'll be good for us." And he's like, "No, I don't like what you're doing."
What was his name?
I don't know. That was
Enzo. It was Enzo.
some great television though.
Dude,
Little Enzo lived next
that's an
door.
Italian name.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, Spencer, Heidi, Stephanie, and Dan, and Will, and everyone else, and Phil, and Coltland. Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship. small.